Christians, we need to stop saying there are signs of the second coming. I was in a shop that had tracts on their counter, and I picked up this one. It's called Two Great Signs. Now, I have no problem with tracts. They're good and they work. This one, like most of them, shares the gospel and calls people to faith. I appreciate that. But we can't fill our tracts with falsehoods when we're calling people to Jesus, who is the truth. Now, the tract does caution against predicting the exact time of his return, that no one knows the day or the hour. That's good. But it goes on to say there are signs that point to his return, and since we're seeing those signs, it must be near. It points to the signs Jesus gave in Matthew 24, the Olivet Discourse. It mentions wars and famines, but says the two great signs are pestilences and earthquakes. First problem, all of these have been going on for 2,000 years since Jesus. So how are they signs of his nearness? Even the tract acknowledges there have been many pestilences throughout history. It then goes on to say it's not the occurrence of these signs, but their increasing frequency that indicates his nearness. That's not what Jesus said. He said, just like the budding of a fig tree indicates summer is near, when you see all these signs, you know that it is near. He didn't say only when you see these signs increasing in frequency. He could have, but he didn't. Don't put words in his mouth. The tract claims that strong earthquakes have been increasing since 1900, citing the U.S. Geological Survey. But that same agency says that earthquake frequencies cycle up and down, but are stable over the long term. What about pestilences? Well, despite COVID-19 being recent, pandemics are still quite rare. There do seem to be more viral outbreaks recently, but that's due to globalization. It's a natural consequence of more people traveling more often. But what happens naturally can't be used as a sign. It's expected. You can't say birds flying south for the winter is a sign. If instead the birds flew north for the winter, that might be a sign. But the biggest problem with all this is that Jesus was not talking about his second coming. He was telling his first century disciples they would see the destruction of Jerusalem and its temple, which is what they asked about. All these signs are about the events leading up to 70 AD. Jesus even says all these things will take place before this generation passes away. That includes these signs. Now, when he does go on to the second coming, he says it will be like Noah's flood, which came suddenly. There were no signs of the flood and no signs of the second coming. If you want to know more about all this, watch my series on the Olivet Discourse. But if you're making a tract, get it right. There are no signs of the second coming, so we must be ready at all times, and don't be seeking for signs. Jesus said that's evil.